What's up, everybody? I'm Jeremy from Weldtec Designs, and welcome to this channel where we love to talk about vans because we build vans better. I don't know, we just have fun with vans here, guys. So if this is your first time to the channel, welcome, and I would say thank you because you're about to smash that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And in today's video, we're gonna talk about two different vans, and this vans are going to be the Nissan NV, and we're gonna put up a big old versus against the Chevy Express. Now, part of this video is gonna be based on facts, and the rest of it is going to be based on solely the opinions of myself, Jeremy, and that's it. So you may like my opinion, you may not like my opinion, but we're gonna have some fun because I love talking about vans. So we're gonna start off with some of the things about these vans that we know that we just love, and that is going to be that they are both full frame vans, and these are the only two vans that we can say still have a full frame in 2021, and that is key because these vans are both brand new. So you're getting a full frame chassis, and you're not gonna get a full frame chassis in a Ford Transit, a Mercedes Sprinter van, and that's really it, or a Dodge ProMaster are all going to be a unibody suspension. And here at Weldtec Designs, you know that we love those full frame vans because they're gonna have independent front suspension on them. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that is the A-arms that is going to be on this. And we like that here because it's great for off-roading. It's great if you want to convert this to four-wheel drive. You can really have a lot of fun. It's a strong suspension that is going to hold up really well to most of the the elements that you're gonna throw at it, whether you be in a two-wheel drive van, which this is, or a four-wheel drive van, which this is. However, from the factory, these only come two-wheel drive. So then you got to come to somebody like us to make it four-wheel drive. But that's going to be the one thing that I truly love about these two vans right here is going to be that front suspension. Well, the next thing that I'm going to say that I love is going to be the just pure power. So in this particular Chevy van, it has the 6.0 gas engine, which has a ton of power. I love it. And you can even get it in a new 6.6, which is gonna put out a whopping 400 horsepower. I mean, who doesn't love that? Right there under this little foot, right there. That's your throttle, just gas it and go. Now, the Nissan is no slouch, coming within with a 5.7 liter, putting in at 375 horsepower, and I'm gonna tell you that the Nissan feels like it has more power than the Chevy, and I love that. You're gonna get cut off here for a second, Austin, or get run over. So if power isn't your main concern, and maybe you're looking for something a little bit more fuel efficient, you can do both of these vans in a smaller engine, which is great. And even a lot of people really like the 2.8 liter diesel that is partnered with the 8-speed transmission in the Chevy Express, which is a lot of fun to drive. I'm not gonna knock it, and it does tow really well. And the same thing goes with the Nissan, is you can get that in a smaller engine package as well if you're looking to save money on gas. And that is really important, obviously in this day and age when gas is like $5 a gallon here in California. What are we gonna do? So both of these things are really nice. Now let's talk about that. We talked about the engine size. Now let's get into towing with these, because me personally, that is a huge priority. I tow a lot with my Chevy Express van, and we're gonna have the Chevy Express with the 6.0 or 6.6 liter is gonna be capable of towing a whopping 10,000 pounds. So that's gonna be a ton of weight. Well, actually it's gonna be 5 tons of weight, right? So anyways, and then we come over to the Nissan, and the Nissan again is no slouch, coming in at 9,400 pounds of towing weight. Now, there are a lot of things that we do to both of these vans to also assist with towing, because if you're gonna notice as I come down here, both of these have an awesome set of method wheels on them, and they're both wrapped in giant tires. Now over here on the Nissan, we do have a 35-inch tire, and one big thing that we do when we change tire sizes in order to accommodate this bigger tire size and not have a total loss of power is doing gearing. And we can change your gear ratios in both of these vans. On this particular Chevy Express, we went to a 4:10 gear ratio, and then as well on the Nissan. So a couple of different ways in which you can, you know, not really lose power if that is your main concern. But tire size, obviously we want bigger tires on there, and you can run a 33 or a 35 with the kits from Weldtec Designs, as well as on the Chevy Express van, we're gonna be able to run a 3-inch kit or a 5-inch kit, allowing you to run up from a 31-inch tire all the way to a 35-inch tire when we go to like a coilover 4-wheel drive system, which we have on this particular Chevy Express, fully converted here by the good folks at Weldtec Designs. So a lot of things go into building these vans to make them look really, really nice, as they don't come from the factory like this. And then when we get to the back of these things, I mean, these things are monstrous and I love them, but really these aren't that big of vans when you compare them side by side. A lot of people will say, well, the Nissan van is just so big and boxy, but to me, this thing just looks really tough. Now, I will tell you currently, and we plan to fix this in the future, the biggest obstacle when going to these giant 35-inch tires is you're gonna notice that the door is not gonna open up all the way, which is definitely a downfall on the Nissan NV van. We plan to fix that, and I'll show you what we've done over on the Chevy Express. The Nissan only seems to come with the sliding door. I wish it had an option for a barn door, but I don't think they're making any changes to that, considering even buying a new Nissan van is going to be difficult because 2021 is going to be the last year of this Nissan NV van. When you compare the Nissan NV to a Chevy Express, and now this is a 135-inch wheelbase, we've lined up both of these vans in the front even with each other. So I want Austin to come back here, and we're gonna just get a side shot of this where you can see that the Nissan NV is going to be, I'm gonna call it about 18 inches longer than what the Chevy Express is. Now granted, the wheelbase is also going to be a little bit longer on this Nissan NV, which there's a lot of good in that, especially when you're off-roading. Now know that you can also get the Chevy Express in a 155-inch wheelbase model that would probably put it about even or just longer than the Nissan NV. Now, here's gonna be the one big thing that I'm not the biggest fan of when you get into the Nissan NVs as we walk around, and it's gonna be just purely the amount of cargo space that you have in the back of here. Now, you could definitely lose 4 seats in the back and still have seating for, I'm gonna have to look at this, 6 passengers can still fit. Even if you removed 1, then you could still fit 8. I know I'm always looking at it from the perspective of a family having to put a stroller, groceries, and a lot of other things in the back of these. So if you have a Nissan passenger van, I would love to know, did you remove 1 or 2 of the back seats in your Nissan NV van because you needed more cargo space? Everything else about the interior of the Nissan NV is going to be far superior than the Chevy Express. We're gonna go take a look at the inside of this. All right, so as I jump into this, I absolutely love the cockpit of this. I do feel like I'm in a truck again, and I really, really like that. I think the dash whole setup is really nice. It's not overly done or played out. You do have a ton of storage in the center console here, as well as cup holders all around. You're gonna have big slots in your door as well for additional storage. I really like the overall feel of this, and I do have the big hood, which I actually really like. I'm not having the transmission hump here in the center, and I'm gaining all of that room right here. Now, I will tell you the one thing that I don't like about this, and I know that I could fix it, but I really do like this on one hand, and I don't like it on the other hand, because I know so often I'm using this as an entry and exit point in order to get to my kids in the back. However, if that's not an issue for you, you know, you may like this more than you don't like it. Just my own, personal opinion. I love the seating in here. I think that the headliner, the dash, the way that they've done the AC vents all running down the center of it, is all done very nice. The seats all look very high end. And granted, now this is a passenger van. This thing is brand new. I mean, I really, really like the inside of this. And one thing I always wish that my Chevy had would be a glove box. That's one thing that I definitely miss in having a van, is that my Chevy Express does not have a glove box. And speaking of that, let's jump over to the Chevy and check out the inside of that. So as I jump in here, don't get me wrong, like I feel like I'm at home. This is my everyday driver, and I just love this van. I will tell you though that when you get into the dash, they haven't made any changes in the dash since like 2004. So it's definitely lacking that. I would really love to see something just newer and freshen this up, giving you a little bit more options in that. But I know that that's a lot to ask of Chevy. Is, you know, this is kind of just their throw to the side kind of van, and if it was up to them, I'm sure they would not even make it anymore. Now this, I do have a glove box still. It's just not nearly as big, and it is, you know, it's there. Another cheat on this is I want to show you the seats. However, these aren't the really nice seats that came in the Chevy van. This is actually our Weldtec Designs Ultra seat conversion that we do in order to give you a more higher end seat, because the seats that come in these Chevy vans are just missing a whole bunch. Now this is that space I was talking about, is I always am going between here. Now this particular van is a cargo van that's going to get built out, so it doesn't even have the interior in it, but I definitely use this space a lot, going forward and backwards, you know, helping the kids, doing what I got to do. And I think I would, in the long term of things, I would miss not being able to do that. Now this particular van is also on swivel seats, and you can see that this does have four-wheel drive on it. And if you want to see more about this van, I'll throw up a card and you can just see the whole build of this. But let's make sure we stay on focus of comparing these two vans. Now, one of the other big things is going to be cargo space, and being able to just completely see how much cargo space. Let me open this up for you. And as we come back here, you're going to notice that there's a massive amount of space. And we're talking about 300 square feet of cargo space, compared to the Nissan NV, which is coming in at like 215 feet of cargo space. So having that front hood area, you are losing almost 100 feet of cargo space, which seems crazy, but it's totally understandable. I mean, when you look at it empty, it always feels like it's a ton more room. You put a couple things in there and it fills up so fast. As we mentioned, that you always will like running bigger tires on there, and you can see that we have those bigger tires, but on this particular van, the sliding door doesn't have a problem clearing those bigger tires, and that's because we've made a door slide extension for the Chevy as well, and that's a big plus. Both of these vehicles are going to have leaf springs in the rear, which is really nice and can not be so nice depending on the springs. However, here we definitely build a really nice set of springs for you, whether it's going to be for the Chevy or the Nissan, to really make these ride nicer. Of course, all of the vans are going to have that rear leaf spring setup, except I want to say the Dodge is a front wheel drive, solid axle, but it still does have springs. Who knows what's going on over there on ProMaster World. One of the biggest questions that we get asked at Weldtec Designs by customers that are either in the van market, they're looking to buy their first van, and they want to know, the big thing is, well, what kind of gas mileage am I really going to get out of one of these vans? And I'm gonna tell you that if you came from driving a car or anything not this giant that's weighing, you know, 7,000 pounds, you're not gonna be super excited about the gas mileage, as most of these are getting between 12 and maybe 17 miles per gallon, which is definitely not anything impressive. But we always say it's not about the miles per gallon, but it's all about the smiles per gallon, because it doesn't matter which van you choose, ultimately you're gonna be very happy, have a lot of fun getting you and your family out on those trips, destinations that you've been really wanting to do. And that's the whole purpose of getting a van, and that's what we love. So I think that is it. I'm sure I missed some stuff. We can definitely do a follow-up video on both of these vans, or show you in more details either one of these vans. I just wanted to come out and talk about both of these. I love that both of them are here, get to have some fun and kind of compare the two. If you guys do have questions, make sure you leave them down below. I'll be happy to answer them. And other than that, I know you've already big thumbs up. I'm Jeremy from Weldtec Designs. I'll see you guys in the next video.